disruptive talent, which sometimes people will say to me, it sounds like a negative term. It's not really what we want to promote. But I say to you that this is the time where we want people to actually be disruptive. We can frame it as these are productive people. So they're not people who are going to cause anarchy and chaos in the organization in a way that destroys value. There might be some discomfort, but it's going to end up being a good thing. We define this disruptive talent as people who can spot ideas, who can implement them, but who can work nicely with other people to actually put those ideas in practice and stay over the longer term in an organization. We want people who are curious. So curiosity, we know, and if many of you run high potential programs, oftentimes, curiosity, that's always indicative, or most of the time indicative of a high potential person, people who want to continually learn. And it's the same for innovation. That's one of the key ingredients. The people are curious. They want to seek out new ideas. They want to understand ways that things work. Creativity is the next ingredient for our ideation. And I work a lot with IT people, and a lot of them are engineers, and they say, there is no way that I can be creative. I cannot think in a different way. I am an engineer. I like a process. Well, the good news is creative thinking is actually a process. So anybody can be creative, and that's the same with all of these competencies that we're going to talk about. These can all be developed. Now, the last bucket is around the personal leadership. So this is really the magic ingredient, right? Because this is the piece that allows you, as someone to drive innovation, to do this in a company setting. Because what you want is, first of all, that authority. So being able to speak up, to have good executive or leadership presence, if you will, being willing to forcefully promote your ideas, the vision of where our organization is wanting to go, and stability, which was an interesting one for me when I saw the research, because I thought, well, if innovation fails and you're supposed to fail fast, why is stability a good thing? But in today's world, we know that there are lots of new shiny objects, and if you like to chase the shiny objects, you might get distracted and you might not stick with something that really could actually have some good business value. We know that disruptors are really valuable to organizations to, of course, decrease threats from both traditional and non-traditional sources, to help us come up with new products, new services, new ways to send our products and services to new markets through new channels. And these people are really great at being the translator between your innovation hub and your core business. You got to give the disruptors personal support. And we talk about a number of elements that need to be in place. So first of all, usually access to that executive sponsor. If you're bringing someone in to really challenge the status quo, drive innovation, they need direct contact with some type of a sponsor. The peer mentor can be a huge advantage. So someone who understands that informal part of the organization and can teach them how things really get done, who can kind of tell them when they're misstepping and what will be tolerated and what won't be tolerated. The manager support, so again, teaching our managers, why is it different with a disruptor? How are you going to measure their performance different? How are you going to integrate them into that team? How are you going to onboard them? Give them frequent feedback. And certainly, connection to other disruptors. It's very lonely to be the only person who thinks a certain way.